All for joining us today. I'm Steve Marin, director of the Beckman Institute. I'm excited to be here for the first time to celebrate Arnold Beckman's birthday, as well as two of our most esteemed colleagues. I noted that Arnold's wearing a hat out in the rotunda, so if you want to take a selfie, which I've already done. Today would have been Arnold's 125th birthday. As you likely know, he had an incredible vision for the first interdisciplinary institute on our campus and in our nation. If you spend any time here at all, you know we're changing lives at Beckman. We do that through the exceptional people who conduct and assist research here, and I'm excited to recognize two of them today. So last year, the Beckman Institute created the staff spirit and dedication. Oh, louder, sorry. Last year, the Beckman Institute created the Staff Spirit and Dedication Award to recognize staff members who embody the mission and core values of the Beckman Institute and demonstrate teamwork. It comes with a 3D printed Arnold Beckman bust and a monetary prize. This year's award goes to, drum roll, T. Joseph. So T is a microscopist and outreach specialist, a scientific expert in their own right. As a graduate student who earned a PhD in entomology, they conducted research in Beckman's microscopy suite. Since 2022, they've spent their time teaching users on the electron microscopes and helping researchers image samples. However, they've been deeply involved in supporting the Beckman community and have joined committees like the DEI committee and our own Owl Patrol Outreach Committee. T got so involved in outreach work that they were recently promoted and added outreach to their job title. They recently helped plan our vibrant, incredible Beckman Institute open house. The Faces of Science was a great project. And they are a dependable fixture during Beckman's many other field trip visits, tours, and outreach events. Lexi Kessler, Beckman's outreach manager, said in her nomination, quote, T encourages students and community members to ask questions and sparks curiosities. Whether providing a tour for a group of visiting scholars or sharing the magic of microscopy with a group of elementary students, T shares research in a way that is approachable and engaging. So please join me in congratulating our Staff Spirit and Dedication Award winner, T. Joseph.
I just put my paper away. All right. I gave a lot of thought about what to say for this. I made a joke with my wife that I should just do a stand-up set because that's usually my public speaking that I do. Yeah, okay, thank you. So I'm not gonna do a stand-up set. But I do really want to thank all the people that nominated me. It really means a lot. I don't get to know who nominated me before. So it just means a lot to, one, be recognized as a whole. It means so much to me, and I'm gonna try not to cry. So thank you. I really love working here at Beckman. I actually started as a grad student at U of I, and I actually did all my research in the microscopy suite, and the microscopy suite has always been so incredibly supportive of me, especially like as a grad student. I had no idea what I was doing, and Kate and Scott at the time were there providing me with tons of support whenever I had questions, whether it was a small one or a big one. I helped with bug scope back then, and when this job opportunity arrived like a few years ago, I was like, wow, that would be amazing to be able to be a part of the community that helps support me so much and get to continue working with BugScope because I loved that outreach program so much. And I didn't have a formal microscopy background, which a lot of microscopists have. I've just used the microscopes and I've done research, and I knew about bugs. So I just applied as like a shot in the dark sort of thing. And so I'm really grateful that I got the opportunity, and just like through applying that they accepted me as to work here, and they felt that my credentials were good enough to provide the support that the users and researchers need, like I received when I was here. So thank you to ITG for always being there for me and supporting me, and then continuing to allow me to grow here as a microscopist. As Steve said, I've been doing a lot more outreach, and I love teaching, and the fact that Kate has allowed me to expand on that and continue doing that, it means a lot. So I'm just grateful for the Beckman community as a whole. You've all provided me support in a lot of different ways. So thank you all for being who you are and providing me with support, whether it's just, chatting with me at coffee hour or cookie collab, or sitting down and really coming up with a big project together as a whole. It makes it really easy to want to continue to give back, and provide support and work towards making the Beckman community even better than I think it already is. I also want to thank my family. I have a few family members here, and they've always been a big support, as well as my wife. She's not able to be here because she has to work, but my family has provided a lot of support growing up and just always encouraged me to chase the things that I am interested in, regardless of how crazy it is, even being an entomologist. So thank you to my family for always being there to support me and encourage me. I promise that I don't take this award lightly. I will continue to move forward and help in any way that I can. And I just thought that I would end with the general mindset I would keep in mind, which is there's no satisfactory substitute for excellence by Arnold. So, thank you.
Congratulations, T. So on to our next award. Since 2017, Beckman has given the Vision and Spirit Award, which recognizes a Beckman faculty member who has fostered collaboration and exemplifies Arnold Beckman's vision. It also comes with a Beckman bust, as well as some research funding. This year's winner is, drum roll, Jonathan Sweedler. So Jonathan joined the Beckman Institute in 1991. That's a long time ago. He is an accomplished chemist, and he's won many awards and published many papers in that field. But for today's purposes, I want you to hear about his collaborations across fields. Nominator and faculty member Martha Gillette did the math, writing that Jonathan has supported 47 collaborators, resulting in more than 200 manuscripts. After listing 8 collaborators, she wrote, quote, "Note the diversity of scientists and engineers this group spans. Each is in a different department, from life sciences to 4 different engineering units, truly in the spirit of Arnold Beckman." Faculty member Rohit Bhargava's nomination mentioned Jonathan's service to Beckman in leading a working group and serving on the Beckman Institute Executive Committee. Rohit also pointed out that Jonathan collaborates with some of Beckman's most senior and junior members, often serving as a mentor to the latter. Faculty member Marnie Bopart wrote in her nomination, quote, "His energy and enthusiasm for revealing scientific truths is evident and contagious. He has supported me personally as a collaborator, and he has strengthened my work through his creative and critical lens." Please join me in congratulating this year's Vision and Spirit Award winner, Jonathan Sweedler.
Wow, well, thank you. I want to look at it. Well, first off, thank you for the nominations. Some dear collaborators I've been working with for a long time. Okay, I'm supposed to talk louder, which means I can do that even without a microphone. So I can tell you that a third of a century ago, when I was looking at where I wanted to spend my career, I was a chemist that had done a little bit of work in neuroscience, and I was a little bit hesitant how I would succeed in neuroscience. And when I came out here, I met Bill Greeno, Al Fang, Michael Gabriel, and Bruce Wheeler, and they basically welcomed me to the Beckman. They welcomed me to neuroscience, and everything just worked well. And the reason I've stayed here, the reason I came here was really the Beckman Institute and this ability to span fields. And now it's more common in other places. And since then, as Martha mentioned, I've published surprisingly 500 papers, and about 60% now seem to have collaborations. I've run a National Institute of Drug Abuse Center for, scary to say these words, approaching almost, it's going to be funded for 25 years, and that is just about supporting collaborations with our mass spectrometry and a range of life science projects. And so the Beckman is everything and all the reasons that I'm here. I do want to take this time to thank my research group, graduate students, and postdocs, and I really want to thank two individuals that I've worked with for, again, decades. And that is over 20 years ago, I hired a postdoc, Stas Rubakin, and joining him was his wife, Elena Romanova, in my group as a technician, then a graduate student, and then a staff scientist, and they both still with me. And between the three of us, we run a wonderful team, but it really does take a team to keep it going. And so it's just my research group, but it's also those two individuals has made this possible. I shouldn't talk very long, but I wanted to give you one Sweedler story, and that's going back in time to 1985. I'm a graduate student at the University of Arizona, and I'm working on optical spectroscopy, no mass spectrometry. And the area that I'm working on, according to my research director, Bonner Denton, was the point where we can commercialize it. So he immediately reached out to a company in Southern California and said, I have a technology you might be interested in. And the retired leader of the company and his crew came out, visited, and were just incredibly supportive and encouraging to the graduate students. And then they gave us the bad news, is that the company was being sold to a pharma company, but a division was being spun out because they weren't interested in optical spectroscopy. And that division ended up supporting Bonner's group. Now, the person I'm talking about, of course, is Arnold Beckman. And so that's the first time I met him as a graduate student, and indirectly, because the spin-off part of that, which became another company, is actually what helped support the group for a while. So I love getting this award because my entire career from graduate to now has basically revolved around Arnold Beckman, the Beckman Institute, and his vision for how new technologies, whether you call it analytical chemistry or bioengineering or whatever it is, and how it can impact life science. And that was his vision, and it's one of the visions that I've tried to follow. So it really means a lot to get this award, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thanks and congratulations to today's winners. We're going to wrap up now with some cupcakes. Help yourselves, and thank you all for coming.